Hello my KCET champions, how are you all? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here with one of the most important video in the preparation journey of KCET Mathematics 2026. We'll talk about math syllabus, the changes, the surprises that your senior faced this year in the year of 2025. So what happened was PU1 question increased. The number of questions coming from the PU1 chapters increased this year. I think quite a bit, 4 or 5 questions was extra. Usually we expect 14-15 questions from this year from the PU1 part, but in this year, the current year, there were more questions. So we have to plan accordingly. Maybe this year also they can ask us more questions from that topic. Okay, so there was that surprise. Apart from that, everything else remained almost same. Okay, so in this session today, I'll talk about year on year how the different chapters has number of questions coming from. Means from year 2022 to 23, 24, 25, from a particular chapter, let's say matrices, how many questions came throughout and what is the pattern that is there. Okay, and we'll also talk about the weightage of the chapters PU1 and PU2 in detail. I hope you are very much clear with this, what is going to be done in the session today. Very important, so stay tuned till the end of the video to know all the information. Now let's begin with the session. So if you start here, check chapter wise weightage. If you see from PU1 part, all this chapters list you see here is from PU1 syllabus, right? This is all from PU1 syllabus. Please check. Set theory has 2 questions, right? In this year 2025 had 2 questions in the set theory, question number 1 and question number 2 actually. But if you see the previous years till 2019, you have 1 question almost every year. So even for this year also you can expect 1 to 2 questions from this particular chapter sets. Now relation and function part 1, which is the part of the syllabus of PU1, we had 2 questions this year. We had 2 questions this year, dear. Please check. Every year 2 or 3 questions comes, so in this year as well we had 2 questions, and you can expect the same here. You can expect again 2 questions over here also. If I talk about 2026, again 2 questions can be expected over here. Principle of mathematical induction is not there anymore, out of the syllabus. It is completely scraped off. This chapter is not there anymore. Complex number also you can expect 1 question. It came same in this year as well and the previous year 2024. All the years 1 question is coming from complex number. Okay, I think it was based upon the argument of z bar. Please check. Linear inequality is a simple question was given. Again 1 question can be expected this year as well. 1 question or no question. Sometimes they ask, sometimes they don't even ask a question on this. But if a question is coming, maximum only 1 will be asked from the chapter linear inequality. Moving on, PNC, there were 2 questions. This year also 2 to 1 question can be expected. 1 or 2 question can be expected this year as well. Okay, so there was actually 1 question which was based on the properties of permutation, and other question was more of the conceptual side. Okay, so we didn't use any formula, but concept was used to solve the other question. If you've seen the previous year paper, you'll know. For the 2025, another year, of course, you can see 1 question every year has been asked from permutation and combination chapter. Moving to binomial theorem, 1 question coming almost every year, either 1 or no. You can see here either 1 question. In 2022 they didn't ask any question, 21 they didn't ask any question. So you can expect either 1 question or no question from this chapter as well. Sequence and series, you have 1 question, 2 question like that. So this year there was a question on GP, I think. Yeah, there was a GP question, remember, that was coming from sequence and series. Straight line also there was 1 question. This year also you can expect 1 question for this particular year. The question which came was, I remember finding the coordinate of foot of the perpendicular from a point to a line, right? There's a formula for that. Coordinate of foot of the perpendicular from a point to the line. That question came for 1 mark, 1 question. If you move on to the PU1 topics again, have a look. So all the way till here we have again PU1, and here we start the PU2 part. Okay, so conic section had 1 question in it. If you expect this year also there will be 1 question or maybe no question, 1 or 0 questions. This had no question. There might be 1 question coming this way in 2026 also. Sometimes they ask a simple question based upon introduction to 3D geometry. Next, limit and derivative, sometime 1 question, sometime 2 questions. They keep changing that. This year they had a simple question on limits that was asked. Again, you can expect here 2 questions coming from limits and derivative this year. Mathematical reasoning, there is no question. This chapter has been scraped off completely. Statistics had 1 question. That mean deviation wala question was there. Remember? Have you seen the PYQs? The question was there on the mean deviation from the statistics chapter. Probability part 1 had simple questions. There were 2. You can expect here again 1 to 2 questions from probability also. Now, this is the all story of PU1 chapters, how many questions can be asked this year as well, if you understand the pattern of the syllabus. Okay, chapter wise trend if you see. Now if you start from the PU2 part where the syllabus of course weightage is higher, relation and function had 2 questions this year. You can also expect 2 to 3 questions this year as well. Okay, inverse trigonometric function had 2 questions, but why this is in bracket the last year? Because there was no direct question. Usually what happens is they can also ask you a direct question on inverse trigonometric function. This year they didn't do that. They asked you that question in the help of in integration, in the derivatives. Basically these 2 questions were asked from the calculus end, not the chapter itself. So there was no question. If you ask actually how many questions were asked from ITF, sir, answer is 0. There is no direct question that has been asked from ITF, but yeah, 2 questions came where it was used calculus properties to solve the problems. So means integration was used on the basis of ITF. That question was there, so that 2 question came. This will also you can expect 1 to 2 question from here as well. Matrices, total of 5 questions, 5 very easy questions came in matrices, and again 4 questions came in your determinant. So 5 plus 4, almost 9 problem is consistency. 5 plus 4, 4 plus 2, 4 plus 2, 4 plus 3, like that question are coming. Total of 8 to 9 questions come from your chapter and the unit matrices and determinant. So very, very important. This is highly important here, very important unit. Simple, and 6 to 8 questions are coming from this chapter, these 2 chapters, so very, very important. Okay, you can see the trend also, 6 here, 7 here, there also 6 and 7. Okay, this year it was 9 actually. So if you continue with your PU2 chapters, again these are all PU2 chapters only, I know you all know that. Check, C and D had 6 questions in it. The last few years 5, 6, 7 question has been asked alternatively, sometime 5, sometimes 6, sometimes 5 again, like that. This year also you can expect same amount of question as 6. AOD also had 2 questions this year. You can expect 3 questions, 2 to 3 questions here. Trend is 4, 4, 2, 4, 3, 3. So on an average 3 questions can come from application of derivative also. Integrals was having 5 questions in it. On an average 5 to 6 questions come from integration as well. This year also you can expect the same thing. Very high weightage chapter, right? If you see the calculus, how many questions are there? 6 plus 3 is 9 plus 5 is 14. Okay, 14. Here also 2 questions, so 16 question. And if you also include a limit question, 17 question was coming from this and include this 2 also, right? So the total of 19 question from the calculus only. So 15 to 19 questions come from just calculus. That's a very big chunk of marks. Okay, check this out. So differential equation also had 2 questions, AOI also had 2 questions in the last year, and the trend remains almost same, 2 2 1 2 2 2 2 5 3 3. Why this is 5 and 3? Because some portion has been taken off. Check here, 4 4 3 3. So same 3 question can be expected from here. 3 to 4 marks in the vector algebra can also be expected this year. Very important chapter and very easy, very formula based chapter. This is vector and 3D. Okay, very much clear. 3D also 4 questions came the previous year, 2025, and you can see the trend is 5 questions, 4 questions almost every year from 3D. Okay, so very important, 4 to 5 questions can be asked here. Linear programming, 2 questions can be expected. One based on the a simple definition, one based upon solving using the graphical method and get the result. They'll ask you maximize or minimize at which point, like that. So that can be asked in the linear programming chapter. And probability part 2, total of 3 questions was asked in the previous year. You can see the trend is 5 4 2 3 3, like this. So 3 to 4 can be also asked over here. If you analyze the trend of the questions, you can expect 3 to 4 questions coming from the chapter probability also. So this was the analysis of the trend of questions coming from different chapters, whether it is PU1 or PU2. I hope you're able to make up what is going on, how the trend is. You can download the class notes, this PDF format of this in the WhatsApp channel to understand this trend, and revisit it. Okay, going to be very, very important what you're going to face, what is the expectation, and then you can make your strategy to counter that. Let's move on. So actually we expected every year that PU2 comes around 45 questions and PU1 comes around 15 questions, but there was a change this year. We had 18 questions exactly from PU, this is 1 actually, this is PU1. From PU1 we had 18 questions and PU2 got reduced to 42. Usually we expect 10 to 15 questions in the PU1 category and remaining all from PU2. But this year PU1 question was increased. They were easier only, but still students don't give that much attention to PU1. Then this is a disadvantage for them. The questions are actually easier in PU1, but if you don't study, then how can you solve it? So please don't skip PU1. PU1 is also equally important, and of course your marks from CBSE as well. Sorry, your board weightage, I meant, not CBSE. Your weightage of board is also very important. PU board marks is very important, right? PU board marks is what? Basically 50% weightage, right? So 50% weightage is from PU boards, so you have to be very much efficient and careful with the board's marks as well. Now if you see chapter wise, I have taken from which all chapters we can expect 4 to 6 questions. So if you go through this, relation and function can give you 4 to 6 questions, determinants can give you 4 to 6 questions, continuity and differentiability can again give you 4 to 6 questions, and A or D can also give you 4 to 6 questions. So these are the chapters: integrals, 3D geometry and probability, from where you can expect 4 to 6 questions. Okay, 4 to 6 questions can be asked from these chapters. The list is over here, so you have to give, of course, first priority, first attention to these chapters. They have to be given priorities, and they have to be very much, you must have be very much thorough in these concepts, very much clear in this concept. Very much practice should be done without any negotiations. Okay, now the chapter with almost 2 to 3 questions. So we have inverse trigonometric function, matrices, application of integrals, differential equation, vector and trigonometry, which has 2 to 3 questions coming from this as well. Some of these are very easy. For example, this is simple chapter, simple chapter, simple chapter. These are very simple chapter. Okay, so I'm telling you that if you make a right plan, you can get 45 plus very easily in mathematics. Scoring 45 plus with the right strategy is very, very easy. You can do that. Okay, very much easy. See, if you pick the easy chapters, matrices here, how much you're getting? 3 questions. So 3 plus 3 plus 3, 9 marks is over here only. Okay, 9 marks, and there's no negative marking in the paper. Over here also, if you choose how many chapters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7, 4 also you take 28. So almost 35, 36 marks you got. Okay, so if you move on to now chapter with 1 marks. Yes, you might think that, sir, why not skip it? These chapters have only 1 question coming from here. Whole chapters have 1 question, but they're very easy. Linear inequality, this chapter is very, very easy chapter, right? No, this chapter is very easy chapter. Sets, extremely easy chapter. So these chapters, even though from only 1 question are coming from these chapters, but they are very, very, very simple. So that's why do not skip this. For example, here, if you know the formulas of GP, this question becomes very easy. Straight lines, there are some formulas given over here, you can remember that. Limits, if you know the standard forms, you can solve the question here also. This also is very easy chapter, LPP. Okay, so you can see 4 marks, 5 marks can be obtained from here also. 5 plus your previous 37 was the tally, right? 37 plus 5 is 42 marks is scored. If you choose the chapters that I've taken over here, no, then it becomes total of 42 marks. That is as good as 45, very close, right? So I'm telling you, you can easily score 45 marks if you understand your syllabus properly, where the questions are coming from, how the trend looks like. Okay, and then accordingly make a strategic study plan to counter all of this. Okay, so start doing that. Now you know the syllabus point, how the syllabus looks like. Okay, and how your questions are coming from which all chapters, from PU to PU1. Then make a strategic plan and let me know what you are trying to think, how you are planning your whole thing in the comment section. I'll get back to you. I'll also try to understand what you are thinking, and we'll come up with the best plan to counter mathematics to get 45 marks easily in our KCET. That's our goal, nothing less than 45. Of course, it has to be 45 plus, otherwise you'll not end up with a good seat, okay, in your engineering. So that's why this is a must. You can score 50, 55 plus as well, but this is a must. This is non-negotiable. 45 plus has to be there, and believe me, it can be easily achieved if you are following our content. Okay, if you are following our channel, if you follow our instructions properly, you'll get this marks very much easily. Okay, so this is the end of this session today. I'll again meet you with another video, another lecture, and till then you have to take care of yourself, wait for the session, and keep working, keep smiling. See you again very soon. Till then, take care. Bye bye.